All right, welcome. Thank you for coming. This session, we're going to go through Teams Phone Mobile. And I will tell you right now, it's not just running Teams on your mobile device. It's quite a bit more than that. And we're going to cover it. Mike and I are going to cover it. First off, big shout out to our sponsors. Couldn't do this conference without them. So the agenda here, we're going to go through yeah, what is Teams Phone Mobile? How does it work? I did my demos recorded, so in case we didn't have internet like we don't have right now, works out. I'm going to go through the list of providers. We're going to just give you information on it, some use cases, deployment tips, things that we have found. Introductions. I'm Matt Slaga. I am currently in between companies right now, so I don't want to tell who my old one is, and I can't tell who the new one is, but I have a couple of nonprofits. That's what I put on my badge for right now. Been in the industry for a long time, longer than I probably care to remember, but go on. And
Hi, everyone. I'm Micah Slaga. I'm his son for 29 years so far. It's been good so far. But I've worked for WWT. The portion I work in is managed services, specifically around Microsoft products. I've been working for them for about 4.5 years, and most of my day is spent banging my head on a wall trying to fix whatever Microsoft broke a week ago. So that's been fun. I've been in the tech industry for about 10 years. And that picture is very old. I actually had that picture taken. Here It Comes Me Next about 2 years ago, maybe three. And I'm also a board member for IT for Nonprofit, eSI.
that's back. If you've been here a couple of times, they used to have someone that would take your photo out there, but they haven't done it in a few years. So that's his excuse as why he hasn't updated.
Why would I spend money when eventually they'll do it again and I should just get another one? And so,
All right, just real brief. I'm going to go through. We run two nonprofits. One is a nonprofit that does technical consulting pro bono exclusively to other nonprofits. Something I've been doing volunteer work for a long time. I really saw the need for it. I just, in my spare time, help them find, telephony if they're buying new software. I'll get on the phone with them and the vendor and make sure they're getting, the deals and not getting stuff they don't need. The other one is one we started in 2021, it's a DBA of IT for Nonprofit. We do technical certification scholarships for aspiring future tech leaders. It's kind of our mission. That one's been a lot of fun to see people that, they want to get into it, but they don't have the funds. They don't know how to start. We provide them everything they need. We also do mentorship. So we get on the phone with them every week. How's it going? Where's the trouble spots? Let's work through it. But it's great to see these, I say kids, 50. So anybody under, anyways, to see them go from starting to like learning how to IT works, get their first couple of certifications and see them get their first job. It's just an amazing experience. Everybody learns something. Okay, I'm going to pass off to Micah.
so what is Teams Mobile? It's basically Operator Connect for mobile carriers. It enables your mobile number to also work as if it were your Teams number. From that, you can make calls or accept calls from both your mobile device and also your Teams app. In the same way, it also allows you to have your native mobile dialer on your phone as your Teams dialer as well. So my favorite part of it is actually the Teams voice policies also apply to whenever you make a call from your phone. That includes recording, call authorizations, security features, the whole 9 yards. In addition to that, it also sets up the call handling so you can have SIM ring delegation, that as well. So how does it work? Well, your mobile carrier acts as if it's the Teams SBC and your mobile phone is the endpoint. Incoming calls are routed through Teams, both to your mobile and also your Teams client. And kind of like I said just a second ago, since all calls are routed through Teams first, the corporate policies are also applied. So here's the AT&T slide that we took. This side basically works as the SBC, and then it sends through Operator Connect out to Teams. And then Teams will, of course, send to a couple different devices. your mobile phone or Teams app on the same phone. So we've got a couple lines here. I think I just clicked.
Bottom left. There it
Yep.
goes.
Okay. So you can see we're signed into Teams on here, and we also have a mobile phone. We're going to dial out, call, and after it finishes ringing, Teams is going to realize that on the application, you can see it there. Hey, you're in a call. I'm going to join from here. So that's the first one. This second one, we started. It's the same one.
Hey, I don't think you got
that. Is the same one.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so from here, we're showing Teams is asking, hey, is this your phone number? Yes, we'll get everything.
First time setup.
First time setup. And you can see all of your recent calls that have been made. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, both from your phone and from Teams, right?
It blends them. So what I used to have on the phone, on my mobile phone now shows up in Teams because they're now the same client.
And last slide here. So this one will show a call coming in a second. Yep. Say this is your boss. You're getting a call from your boss and it's showing up on your Teams phone and Teams app. So go ahead and hit accept. You'll realize, hey, you've got a call going on another device. And then in a second, I'm going to go over there. And
after this schizophrenic mouse movement
up, shows that you are logged in, you're in a call, and we're going to join that call when we feel like it.
There it goes.
Yep. And I think we're going to choose transfer this device, this screen. Yep. Going to join it. And you're going to see in the background here, it disconnected, your device is no longer connected, and then it's just going to drop it. And that also goes through,
I think where they just switch it back.
Yeah, you just switch it back through the team, but you do it from the Teams app, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll switch it back.
Yeah, there's no way to do it from directly.
Yeah.
Go to join, and this one's going to add the device. You can see the difference.
I don't. Great questions. We actually get into that later, but it does not. It does not. That is to me is a big myth. Does AT&T do it?
I was going to ask, emergency calling, like, wait till what it asked.
So yep, that was that. And then who are the providers? There's a number of them. AT&T, of course. And this list is constantly growing. I think within the last 2 weeks we checked, and there haven't been any new ones at this time. I just want to point out the only one that's different from all the providers currently is T-Mobile USA. They specifically want you to have 10 minimum phone numbers versus the rest of these are 1. So, yep, I'll hand it off to you.
All right. So the requirements, what's needed for this? Pretty basic. Start out with, you need E5 or any 365 plus phone system add-on. You need to use a listed Teams phone mobile carrier that we just showed the list of. You go through the process, enable the operator connect, which I'm going to show some screenshots of what that looks like. There is a carrier fee, just like if you have a phone number through another carrier standard. The mobile carrier, like Verizon, for instance, charges you $4 per user per month. Add that phone as an operator connect into it. Obviously, if you have 1,000 phones, they're going to give you a discount, but it's just something. There is fees involved with it. You also we've learned this in our time of deploying it. You need to disable the mobile provider's voicemail function. You move a user to Teams Phone Mobile, their legacy voicemail, all their voicemails, it's part of the migration strategy, but all that goes away, no longer accessible. So they need to either jot it down or export whatever they need to do. Configuration. All right, we're going to start in Teams Admin Center because that's where we go find the carriers. We're going to select the carrier and then we're going to add it. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. So once you're in Teams Admin Center, you bring up phone numbers or carriers. You're going to select Operator Connect. At that point, I can filter for Teams, phone, mobile calling, and that's going to list all the carriers. In this case, I've got Verizon. Just a note, there is a button at the bottom, offer details. That'll bring up the carriers page. Some of the carriers just send you to a generic page, which is unfortunate, but most take you to a page, say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what it entails. So to enable, I'm doing it with Verizon because that's what I just checked and found. What was the cheapest? Because we got a couple of devices just to test this out. But in here, you actually say, I'm going to use Verizon. You check the boxes, put in your information, and you add as my operator, just like any other operator connect.
Question this.
Yes.
So if I don't have my own company, right, and I am purchasing an E5 license, Microsoft Teams, I have my own team tenant.
Right.
Can I set this up as a regular user, or do I have to be part of the company or LLC to?
If you have a Microsoft 365 tenant, you can add it.
That can't, that is less
Right.
good. Email.
Because unless you had 10 people in it. Right. Yeah. But most of them are just one because I know people need to kick the tires.
Back from this, you can charge your and that thing, right?
Yes. You're adding one to it. Yeah. You add it and it's an extra charge. Not too bad though. All right. Couple of notes. Once you submit that, it kind of goes to Verizon to set up the Operator Connect. It states that they'll reach out to you. Don't wait. Just go find the offer details. Unless if in the case that you are working with a carrier and you know the account managers, that's your best route. In fact, I'd go that route before you enable it so they can come out, give you rates and such, hopefully, good ones. But yeah, you want to use the offer details rates, find how you can chat or talk to somebody and engage it from there. Cause I waited a couple of weeks. Nobody contacted me. So I went and actively looked. All right, now we'll go to the provider process. So now I've got a provider's business account. In there, we're going to add the tenant ID for your tenant. And then you're going to go add this feature. And then I got a note for voicemail. So in here, I'm in Verizon's business page. And when I go to the Verizon mobile, I got a link at the bottom if you happen to want to know what it is for Verizon. But I paste my tenant ID. I go through the process. It then sets up the Operator Connect within my company. I then add the feature, Verizon Mobile for Microsoft Teams, $4 a user a month. I acknowledge that all my voicemails go away. Just making you, for that. Then you submit it. Hey, this is your cost increase, typical contract type stuff. Now, this is an interesting one. Depending on how you're going to migrate, you can pick a couple of options. Obviously, if you're migrating a lot of users, you want to pick a date in the future so you can get your communication plans. You're changing how the phone kind of works for users. So there has to be some, call it knowledge transfer or adoption planning for that. But you want to work that into your schedule. If it's just a few people and you're able to do it quickly, you can, mark it through. But that's going to be kind of negotiating with your carrier as well. But once you're submitted, they're like, thanks, bought more from us. We're happy. Shortly after, you'll get a text on the mobile device that you just added saying, hey, that's actually, I got that coming next. It knows that I added that to that account for that phone in Verizon. Oh, gotcha. So, right. I'm sorry, where this is blurred out, that's the phone number. So each phone number you go through, I'm sure they have a way to do it bulk. For this demonstration, I only had one phone at that point. But yeah, that's a great question. Do you want a beer, spotlight, or a mouse? That was a good question.
What?
Beer. You just can't drink it in this room. You have to take it back to your room. I was told that I brought All right. No, that's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to hold the beer and not. When I mentioned it to Pat and them, they were like, "We didn't hear that."
Hey, Mal, since you're using Verizon as an example, it's interesting because like for a while I had Verizon, first Verizon. So man, I was interested in enabling that function in my team extended Verizon. I went to a Verizon retail store to talk about it. And I was just gonna have they relaxed the requirement for people with Verizon when it first came out like years back?
It still requires a business account. You can't do it. Yeah, all of these, as far as I'm aware, they all require business accounts.
That's what I was asking earlier. Yeah, actually, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
Got
Yeah, I went through the same thing when we were enabling. It's like, no, business. Another option you have to add, at least within Verizon, you have to, doesn't make sense, but you have to add decline voicemail. And then their support also said to dial *73 to disable any active call forwarding and dial *920. They told me to do those, but they didn't actually work on my device, but you know, it was all working. Now, if you don't disable it, I can show you what that looks like. I made sure to capture that one. When you receive a call, you're like, oh, let me answer that. But before you can actually answer it, the call goes away like a blip. So what's happening is you could hear the Verizon voicemail picking up. It gets confused and picks up the voicemail and throws you out. If you don't disable it or remove it from the account, you'll get that. I wanted to include that because that was I think that's the same one again. See? Okay. So now to complete the move, we go back to Teams Admin Center. Now, when we go to filter by operator connect, that phone number that I just migrated now shows up in Teams for me to assign like any other phone number, even though it's a mobile number, SIM number, it now shows up. I can assign it. So here we are assigning, select what type of number is coming in. This is where I'm assigning it to a user here.
Oh, still shouldn't have operated back.
Yeah, when you go to add it, you have the drop down to select what number you're assigning to that person, and then which one you select, it filters the numbers. And then you can see here, it's added it, operator connect. Here's all the details. And then you're also going to get an email saying your Teams client, hey, you now got a Teams phone number, just like any other number.
I-
Yes, that is my mobile number from Verizon. It'll show up in there. So Teams, it just looks like a regular phone number. Since it's all happening within Operator Connect.
I'll see my yeah.
No, once I enable it with Operator Connect, any numbers I had in the pool for Verizon for all those mobile numbers will show up in Teams now. Now you could possibly, depending on location, in the US, very portable. You could take one of your numbers and assign it to a mobile phone.
Right.
You'd transfer it to Verizon for that, but
Way back.
you'd port it out to Verizon and then Verizon would bring it back in under Operator Connect. Right. Because Verizon still owns the number, but they now route it to Microsoft tenant.
But not
Sure.
did all by carrier,
Yes.
even though it's shared up to an tenant.
Yes. Yeah. It's no different than Operator Connect. So if any numbers I have for Operator Connect those numbers are owned by the operator, not by Microsoft. So it's not much different than that. So,
This used to be called operator connect mobile. Let's get
yeah. Teams Phone Mobile. Which, okay. Use cases.
my
Sure.
boy. Oh, wait. Yes. Like it. Then was okay. What I means that yeah. Yeah. Oh, easy to statement that I mean, I uh, have landline. You start the over the business
Yep.
that then and sit down with the people that the horse these it's their state
Cost wise.
cost what
Yeah.
is the here they done that in my
Yes. Yeah.
votes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's instead of having both, you could have just one number for your org because now that number rings into Teams wherever I'm at, whether it's mobile device, I'm on just on SIM, or I'm at a desk or a desk phone. They're all going to ring for that same number.
That's crazy to think about mobile number tied to the regular is ring your desk phone.
Yes. It's, yep.
Not
Let me go through. Yes.
with mobile device that can do or you allow should have with that in there. And take for instance, I you have salesperson who wants to push this mobile, they're all they're actually like, and then they leave. You want to keep that telephone number that's for and you like you do with it, you pull their profile away, taking like whole Microsoft and you take the number.
Well, that's why you're using a business number because if I'm using a business number, I'm issuing a phone to my users.
Right.
Right. So that number belongs to the company, not to the user.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's not like they have their personal phone number.
While a salesperson goes to that, and you don't want all of that communication that those customers that they want
Yep.
to be able to put by you going to your pet.
Right.
But you also said earlier that it doesn't allow texting and things like that. So even on mobile,
No, your mobile phone, you'll still access SMS just like you do in messages. It just doesn't transfer over to Teams as well, which is to me, I'm hoping it's something they're working on because that's to me is a big miss. That's a big miss. But having it in there within Teams in your chat would be because you can do that now. Yes.
if the company is what process is ready for that on their number, it still works. But today, because Microsoft not want that at any but falling
Right.
this stuff.
Yes.
That's, uh,
Calling plans. Yep.
not correct. I will offer that today.
Yep. That's where I was going that you can do SMS today in Teams with calling plan numbers, but doesn't work with.
Packet though, and you could get your own SMS carrier that let the rest of the team like a Blurf or some of these other, and it's a still text on a number, just not native. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Or service. Yeah, they do. With ease, service not full,
Right.
actually, is okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm up. No,
It's all good. All good. So let me go through a couple of use cases. We have a remote product sales teams. We're out in the field. All the users have two phone numbers. So whenever they have calls to their mobile phones, they're not logged, they're not recorded. We don't know from a business perspective, other than phone bills, who they're talking to, et cetera. Sales teams are reluctant to call from their mobile phones because they don't want to get calls on them after hours. So in a lot of cases, that can cause some sales delays. So this is a perfect candidate. If we enable it, we have one phone number. We can use the Teams policies to do when I can receive calls, when I can't, when to send it to voicemail after hours. I have control over it. Not to mention any calls that come in, I have the option to record, which I get into that in a little bit. But if I want to have all calls recorded without interaction from the salespeople, I have to use a third-party product. Otherwise, what they have natively is the ad hoc. I want to record this call, but just something to keep in note. Another one. This is one we had with a customer in Canada. They had field financial advisors, 450 of them. They have one number that they all their clients call them on, and they would call them and say, "Hey, I think Tesla's going to go down today. I want you to sell it right now." Be like, "All right," and they log it and make the trades, whatever. But the problem, what kept the IT guy up at night was someday someone's going to say, Tesla stock shoots up instead of drops. And it'll be like, "I never told you to sell it. Why did you sell it? You need to reimburse me." They have no way to say yes or no. It's just he said, she said. In this case, if they run these through Teams Phone Mobile, all of those calls are recorded. They can go back, look at it, and provide that compliance or, you know, th- give them that argument. "Hey, you did tell me to sell it. Here's the proof." Kind of a broader one. I think this is a good solution for any company that provides corporate phones to employees. It gets a little more gray area, like you talked about with numbers. If they're bringing their own device, they're probably on personal plans. You can't do it anyways. Um, but it's essentially, why are you paying for duplicate services? Why have two phone numbers? This allows you to keep those corporate policies in place, compliance, et cetera. Just, yeah.
Um, what about, you know, I've read something in recently, so I don't have the knowledge, but like 65% of the cell phone not different bought here, do you replan? They didn't give it to you.
Yeah.
And you ended up with a law on the no Tim's, and that's it. And it's about
Well, just you can, because that phone number is owned by the carrier. You're not adding anything new to the phone other than the Teams client, perhaps, if you want to use the extra functions at it. But you can use your mobile phone with the native dialer and still have that call applied to corporate policies. So you're not changing it. You're not moving carriers. It's still the same carrier. You're just adding the carrier into the tenant.
do look at I have it was
Right.
and they do your
Yes. You're paying the cell phone carrier and you're paying your landline carrier. Yeah. You're paying for both. And of course, the landline carrier is going to be far cheaper, but it's not going to give you the functionality that it might.
are you familiar with WebEx Go with Cisco line? Have you heard the product?
I have.
Um, I asked the question, not some saying either, hey, about it, Microsoft, just asked the question to understand if Microsoft, some other. And in Cisco's product, WebEx Go, which Teams bundled with, which is, it got two flavors of their Teams bundle. You got one that's CMP device, which is very similar to the way you guys, Microsoft.
Right.
You have to basically associate the numbers through bot connect. You have to choose your search bot. That number gets assigned through the tenant to a year. They also have a bring your own device option. Essentially, the user goes process adding eSIM to their phone. They'll do a QR code, screenshot WebEx console, and in doing so, it binds the phone to the WebEx, whatever extension they had WebEx. Now it's ties
Okay. So you have two phone numbers essentially on the phones. Yeah.
first device that may work because while they're tied to the company, if they don't have a company as cell phone, they can use the second SIM and activate the scenario. The second SIM is the one one. And then if the deal whatever with the company, they will
That eSIM.
they come to that. Once Microsoft, if you see, you sit down and you start and really, right? Typically, look first. Yeah, there's a
Yeah. It's
well, that's it.
actually, there's probably nothing keeping you from using an eSIM on your own device that's tied to another carrier. That could be your business.
Yeah, you could do this thing. What this is like,
Yeah.
like here, the
To do an eSIM though, separately, you do need that phone to be unlocked, generally speaking.
but
But but you could.
Given earlier, you're not doing any kind of number forty into the WebEx set. You're using numbers that are
Right.
set. Basically, assigning one of those numbers to your to your personal phone. So
Yeah.
I know Microsoft does something similar like that. Or
It would do, but it would be more done through the carrier because the carrier would have those numbers instead of because they're
it still has to go through a carrier.
right. But it would be the same process, but just to be eSIM instead of physical SIM.
The carriers on the planet, like, well, they buys it.
It's if your plan has minutes, it would just fall under whatever the same part is. Now that would only apply for when you're doing outbound dialing from the device. If you're receiving a call, if you notice in the screenshot, it actually arrives in Teams, not in the native dialer.
Like, not offered but I take your right all. I deal with that. Well, not all is going wire scale, deal with wire, um, oh, price. I or you might let that large scale get that.
Yeah, I've it's rare I see it, but I have seen where some companies will actually go with their Verizon or T-Mobile, and they'll buy a big pool of minutes for all of their mobile devices. In that case, it would just come out of those when they're placing the calls. Good questions. Good. All right, let me give you some deployment tips. We talked about having two numbers, so that's something to kind of have that discussion when you're meeting with customers or you're, internally. What number do we want to keep? In a lot of cases, you can port that corporate number to a carrier. Yeah, you can. It's numbers are portable nowadays. You can move them. Like I got a block of DIDs, and I'll move them to carriers, and doesn't matter if it's mobile or whatever. You can move them. It's just you got to consider which one do they want to use, which one is the most utilized, which one makes the most sense for you. We are changing their mobile devices, so adoption plans. You didn't get enough from that from 9 o'clock this morning from me, or more. But yeah, definitely want to make sure we're changing how they use their mobile phones. Voicemail is going to be different. How their incoming calls are going to come. It's going to look different. You want to make sure you provide, especially your, salespeople, the ones bringing in cash for the company. You want to make sure they're taken care of so that cash flow doesn't get paused. Communication plans. We want to make sure we're talking to them. This is why we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. Bite-sized training. I love bite-sized training. People are in the Amazon world, I call it. They want everything right now, and they just want the part that they want. So if I can create the part of training that they just need right at that second, easy to get to. That's good. That's how I do it. And then voicemail. Always keep the voicemail in the back of your mind, because once that's gone, that you will get a call saying, "Hey, I got all these voicemails. Yeah, we had this discussion. You needed to go and log them or take care of them. I didn't. Well, they're gone now." Pardon me. We talked to this briefly. Recording, ad hoc, easy. Nothing extra needed. They can go into Teams client and record that. But if you want always on, that's not built into the Teams client today. You have to use a third-party product. Got someone saying in the back, "Hey, that's me." Almost done here. Couple caveats. We talked about SMS. It doesn't go into your Teams client. It's just on your Teams messages. Just something to keep in mind.
When you're movement.
Yeah, your mobile, like regular messages, comes up on it. Yeah, it doesn't. Your SMS messages will not show up in Teams chat, for instance. Like we said before, it does for if you have calling plans, show up as chat in there. If you do have iOS, some of those native features, like call screening, could interfere. It's just something you need to test because, depending on how your carrier handles how that happens, it might cause some problems. So it might be something to add to your training plan.
It's active on like that. Then some features of coincide with pretty good content. Comfortable. Like I use that phone for making my phone use phone up mobile enabled. I would back it afterwards. A lot of things that customize part locking product.
Went away. So yeah, in this case, it's just that one's built into iOS. They have some of those interesting features, which are pretty cool, but something to definitely check because every carrier might handle it differently. We talked about bring your own device plans, you know, consumer plans are not supported. Some of this is in GCC high, but there is some limited support. That brings me to the end. Yes.
Emergency calling.
Okay.
I'm used to like cloud-based and premise-based system deal with 933, which is the test number that try to enable for basically IVR playback. It's text read what things your address is.
Right.
Prompt should record messages with back to break your testing to audio draw. Teams call dialing 933 on Teams call doesn't work. If I dial 933 on TDM, get a you call kick it with dial. I'm assuming the emergency call will for carrier cellular network and not the Teams environment.
If you use the native dialer, they should go out the carrier network. If you switch over to Teams, it'll follow the regular Teams dialer.
Teams client on my cell phone.
Right.
It'll be a different experience.
It might be. Yeah, I would check that. But if I dial 911 from there, it's going to follow the corporate policies instead of the mobile. Just because I'm dialing it from the Teams
For the Teams
client. Yeah.
No.
That was
all new. And you'll stop.
it's yes. Once you have those numbers in Teams, you can well, the number for QZAP has to be a service number.
And you
End user can be
you
yes.
can know just by but can't have service to I don't know.
Yes.
The T corporate that log to that more needed.
Yep.
Remember,
Agent could be the person on the mobile device. Absolutely. Which that was a good question. Beer, mouse, or spot. I didn't give you one already, did you? I should be keeping track. The mouse. All right. After this, I only have beer left. So, which in case you didn't hear before, you can't open it in here. You got to take it to your room. Somebody clarified that for me. Any
we got truck with like those security issues. They could be their service.
yeah. Any other questions? I really appreciate you guys joining us, and hope you guys enjoy the rest. Hopefully, we don't get snowed in tomorrow. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.